What is good, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's going on with NIO stock, what you should be watching for moving forward. I'm also going to break down some important technicals for the overall market, what data is going to come out for tomorrow that's super important, and how NIO closed today. But before I break anything down with all this information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am firstly not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you are guaranteed up to 12 free stocks. Now, the offer ends in just about 5 days from now, so check it out before they run out. Anyways, let's break down what's going on with the market. NIO was up 0.39% for the day, which wasn't actually too bad. It was very boring, very flat, but you have to remember that SPY sold off over 1.2%. Tesla was down 3% for the day. It's still selling off in the after hours. Apple was down over 2.5%. The QQQ was down 2%, right? The market started selling off amidst the GDP data that came out, other pieces of data, and because of Meta's earnings. Meta ended up announcing some bearish pieces of news. They said that their overall revenue from their virtual headset system just ended up not meeting expectations, and their forecasts for 2024 and also parts of Q4 were not the strongest. So because of Meta's guidance, we saw Meta sell off quite aggressively, and this had a big effect on the markets. You could see Meta was down over 3.7% today, and with Meta selling off, this has had a negative effect on the markets. Now we're going to be watching some new earnings. So the market's kind of flat. It's trying to sell off a tiny bit because it's dependent on Amazon. Amazon has its earnings call like right now. But I just want to note that Amazon's a little bit down, and this could be a little bit negative for the markets, potentially, slowing the market down if we get a bigger sell-off. So be very careful with Amazon. Now, Amazon had better than expected results. Their earnings were quite good. They raised their future forecasts. So we had some good earnings beating on EPS and revenue. So that was good for Amazon. But one thing that was concerning for investors was the fact that their cloud control, I actually just read this somewhere, in cloud, excuse me, they're basically giving up a larger market share, and this is concerning some investors. And on top of that, there's news coming out about how things could change for Amazon's competition. And we're going to be watching to see how Amazon moves after its earnings call. Right now, it's dropping. So if it continues to drop, if we get a bigger sell-off, this could slow the market down even more. And even more downside is a real possibility. But Amazon is not the only factor affecting the markets. Tomorrow morning, an hour before the market opens, we have the PCE data report coming out. We have the forecast, the consensus around 3.2 to 3.4%. And we have that's going to be for year over year for all of PCE. And then for core PCE, we're expecting 3.6 to 3.7%. If any of these numbers are hotter than expected, this could cool off the markets a bit. If not, the market could just remain as is. Barr is going to be giving a speech from the Fed, and we have the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Report coming out 30 minutes after the market opens. So we're going to be watching all these different factors very, very carefully. But for now, I'm still paying attention to Amazon's kind of flat now, trying to rebound a bit, but it's still on the earnings call. We'll see what happens with this moving forward. Now, when it comes to NIO, we have some good news. The news has come out that Wall Street's expecting NIO stock to gain over 130% in the next 12 months. So there still is some very, very big projections for NIO, and I believe NIO has potential for a nice bounce, especially going into the next couple of months. However, for the short term, there could be some downside for the markets, which could affect NIO. So we want to be very careful as we approach, these earnings and other factors like this. Now, when it comes to SPY has a lot of puts expiring. So if we can break particular resistance levels, we'll see if we could try to get some kind of like pump tomorrow during the afternoon, because we have lots of puts expiring, but nothing is guaranteed until we get more information from PCE. So just keep this in the back of your mind. If we get some decent PCE data and the market holds up nicely, there's a lot of puts expiring. The market makers could try to squeeze the shorts, but it's not a promise, especially when the market is this weak and being this much impacted by other factors. So we'll just have to wait and see. As far as NIO goes, NIO opened its 2000th power swap station in China on the Silk Road. So very, very awesome news for them. I'm very excited for what NIO is doing, and I think that this is going to be awesome for them. This is a very incredible milestone for them. As time goes on, I think that this is going to help not just the future of sustainable energy over there, but NIO's future as a whole. Deutsche Bank still has the buy rating for NIO. Price price ratio is very flat. There's not much is going on. Fridays tend to be green about 53% of the time for NIO, but it's been pretty flat lately. And volume is only 27 million, so nothing too crazy. All right, so for Amazon, it looks like it's trying to rebound, but we're going to be waiting for the earnings call. I can't really watch it right now. I want to just record this video. So we're going to be watching to see how Amazon affects the market. We're going to see if Amazon makes a big move or not. If it remains red, sells off more, that could be bearish. If it bounces, that could also be bullish for the markets. But please note that Amazon is just the first factor. Another factor affecting the markets is going to be PCE data, which is one of the most important inflationary measures. So if we get a hot PCE report, the market could slow down tomorrow, and this could cause NIO to retrace towards this support right here at this 7.5 to 7.4 area. If we're bullish tomorrow, we want to see NIO break above 7.8. So it all depends on PCE and these other factors. That's really hard to predict. We have a slight bullish divergence on NIO, so there's a good chance it's going to try to retest 7.8. But I think that if it does test it, we might just trade sideways, and NIO might close very flat, possibly in the green. But just to be safe, it depends on PCE and other factors like that. Looking at Amazon, Amazon stock is, let me just double check it. Amazon is actually still kind of red. It's still very flat. It's not really doing much. So we'll see what Amazon does. When it comes to SPY, this is also very flat in the after hours, but there's no true confirmation that this thing is ready to bounce yet. There's a slight bullish divergence here, but it depends on how we hold for 10. Now, if PCE comes out very hot tomorrow, this could cause the market to sink. So you want to be very careful. If it's as expected, we could see the market try to bounce, especially if you hold for 10. And another big factor is going to be Amazon and how its earnings end up looking. So we're going to be looking to see if buyers can try to step in and get us above 416. If they achieve that, this thing can start pumping even more. But it's going to depend on all these different factors. The market's kind of green in the after hours. It is due for a bounce based off technicals technically. So we'll see if we can get that bounce. But Amazon is selling off a bit. So this could start us off very weak. And PCE could help this eventually try to bounce. So I think that's the market could just go either way. It's a little tricky to tell because it depends on the data coming out for tomorrow. So we're going to be watching for that data to see how it affects us. On Tesla, if we get some hot numbers, we could see Tesla, cool off towards 202.5 or 200 before buyers try to step in. There's a slight bullish divergence on the chart, which tells me there could be a bounce, but I'm going to be open-minded. If Tesla gets above 210, we're going to be watching 212, then 215. It all depends on PCE and Amazon, so we're still waiting for that. But PCE tomorrow morning is going to be just as big of a factor, so make sure you're prepared for that. For Amazon, if we get some hot PCE numbers, this could cool, not Amazon, sorry, Apple. This could cool Apple down towards 163.5. If we get a cool PCE, we could see this pump towards 168. So we're going to be watching that very carefully. As far as the QQQ goes, some hot inflationary numbers tomorrow could cool this off towards 340. If we get decent PCE numbers, we could see this bounce towards 346 all over again. So we're going to be watching all of these, even for Nvda. Nvidia is looking a bit more bearish as of right now. If we get some hot numbers tomorrow, we could see 395 on Nvidia, followed by 390 for a bounce. If we get some decent PCE numbers, we could see this try to hold up a little bit better, but another factor is going to be Amazon. So we're going to be watching to see what happens to Amazon. So far, it looks a little bit red. It's trying to sell off more, so we could see more selling for now, but we're going to be watching to see how PCE affects us as the next factor. So just be very, very careful. There's still risks of more selling. Watch that 410 support on SPY very, very carefully. All right. So what does this mean for NIO? As far as NIO goes, there's a good chance with the bullish divergence we could see NIO rebound towards 7.8, and it might reject off of this and come back down, and we might just trade very flat for the rest of the day. It may be very, very boring for now, and I think the market could remain this way. I think NIO could follow the market and just remain kind of weak for the time being, but things can most definitely change going into next month as we're just a few days away from NIO's massive deliveries numbers. So we're going to be very patient. I think we're going to see a little pop in NIO, then a drop and just sideways price action, and things may just remain very, very boring as time goes on. All right, so thank you for listening. Have a great day, guys. Remain calm, cool, and collected. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Get ready for PCE an hour before the market opens, and we will see how the data affects the markets. Thanks again, and peace out.